What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be going over the top 10 common mistakes in capture the flag challenges and how to avoid them. A lot of these are easier said than done, but try to keep them next to you while you're doing your next capture the flag challenge, and they might help you solve your next challenge. I'll put them in the description below so you can easily copy and paste them over. And stick around for the last one because it's probably the most important one in this list overall. I'll be giving some live examples that I've run into recently that will help you understand each of these challenges or mistakes and how to avoid them. So the first one is going to be not reading the challenge properly. So the mistake I see a lot of people make are overlooking the challenge description and missing hints that the author put in there about the challenge's structure or the puzzle structure. To avoid this, just make sure you're carefully reading the challenge prompt to understand the specific requirements, seeing if they put any hints in there or constraints before diving into the challenge, or maybe if you get stuck, go back to the challenge description and read it again, just word for word, and try to understand if the author put in something to the description to help you out. So the example I have for this one is called Let's Paint from ATC Winter Vibe CTF in 2025. The challenge description says, I need a change for the winter season. Can you help me paint my room? I can't decide. I think I would like to use all these colors. So if we go to the picture here, let's paint.png, we see this picture here. So there's a room, there's some colors, they're trying to decide what to paint the room. So typically you would try to do Z-stag on this, or maybe try to see if something's hidden within the image, like a file hidden inside the image, or, you might upload it somewhere to look at the different colors of the image to see maybe if the flag is hiding on the ceiling or something like that. I've seen that done in some CTFs. But again, none of that works. So let's go back to the challenge description here. It says, can you help me paint my room? I can't decide. I think I would like to use all these colors. So this is the key part right here, all these colors. So if we go back here, the solve for this challenge was actually grabbing the hex value of all these colors and then decoding that hex value to ASCII to give you your flag. So this was a really unique challenge. I really like this one, and it really teaches you to make sure you're reading the challenge description and seeing what hints are inside of there. So the second one is going to be ignoring the rules and restrictions. On almost every single CTF, there's a rules flag, and that's because they specifically want you to read the rules. Usually using automated tools inside these CTFs are not allowed. I don't think I've seen one where they are allowed. Stuff like sqlmap or just automated tools that scans websites, Dirbuster, stuff like that. A lot of that stuff is usually restricted. So you want to make sure to read the challenge rules and guidelines to make sure you're staying in compliance with them and avoid getting disqualified. So an example here for LA CTF, this is a CTF that just ended. One of their rules here was do not attack or interfere with other teams. Do not perform any type of online brute force attack against our systems or challenges, such as Dirbuster and Nmap. It won't help. And in most of these CTFs, it won't help, and you're supposed to step through the challenge, and they'll have points in the challenge that lets you know what the next step is that you need to do, so you don't really need to use those automated tools. So just make sure you're reading the rules and the rules for the CTF to make sure you don't get disqualified in a competition and, take away from the prize that might be there from winning. So the third tip I have is falling into rabbit holes. The mistake is, overcomplicating a process when the solution is fairly simple. So an example I have for this, again, LACTF, we just wrapped this one up, and I saw a really good example of this, which was this web challenge here, chess-based. So this challenge gave us a chest-based URL along with a challenge instancer to deploy an admin bot. So we'll deploy the admin bot and we'll look at the challenge here. Or this is the website here. And then they give us a chest-based.zip file here. So if we go to the zip file, we can extract it here, and we can go to, I believe it's the backend, and then the app.js here. So we'll open this with Sublime Text here, and we'll open our admin bot. So the admin bot here, you can tell the admin bot to visit a URL. And then if we look at the the JavaScript file here, we can see that there's a search portion of the website, and it says here only challenge is allowed to make search requests, and if the challenge domain doesn't match and if the cookie doesn't match and all these other requirements, you're not going to be able to use this search feature here. But so you would think that you need to find a way around this. You need to host a Python HTTP server, you need to use ngrok, you need to host a webhook site to get this flag back to you. But that's because that's not the answer to this challenge here. And you might think it is, but you need to be reading more than just this search area right here. For example, if you look at this render endpoint right here, if you send the move over with the render endpoint, you can actually just return the flag with that. So if we go here to /render, and then I believe we can put what was it? Give me 1 second here. I gotta figure out what that URL was again. Oh, ID. I'm missing ID. So if we put render $ID equals flag here, we're actually given our flag with this render endpoint here. So we're using the ID to query the premium move here, which is the flag. So openings push premium true name flag. So that's the ID here that we were looking for, and I fell into this rabbit hole of trying to use the search endpoint and trying to do this fancy redirect or send, have the admin bot go here and send me the flag somehow. But the bottom line is the challenge was a lot more simple by just going to the render endpoint. So hopefully that makes sense. So, to avoid that, just start with basic techniques. Make sure you're reading the challenge files, and just don't try to jump into the most complicated solution you can make up in your head, because a lot of the times it's simpler than that. So the next item I have here is not managing time efficiently. The mistake I see is spending excessive time in challenges while neglecting to solve other challenges. A lot of CTFs have easy challenges, medium challenges, and hard challenges. Don't go into a CTF trying just to do all of the hard challenges. Spend some time on doing the easy challenges and, get that rush of getting, a lot of flags in the beginning by doing the easy challenges, and then move on to the medium challenges and the hard challenges. You don't want to be spending all of your time on those challenges and then not being able to solve, any other challenges. So if you're spending more than 30 to 45 minutes on a challenge, put it on pause, make sure you have some notes, and then just come back to it. And then you'll probably think of something that you weren't thinking of to try, and a majority of the time, you'll be able to get that flag. The next suggestion I have is not taking breaks. So just make sure you're taking breaks in between challenges or every few hours. At least spend 5 or 10 minutes, walking around, doing something just to take a break, get your mind off of your computer, or get your eyes off your computer. um, a lot of the time you'll still be thinking about the challenges, and you might think about something like, hey, I didn't try this, or maybe it's this simple, or let me go look at this header, or maybe you'll think of another attack vector or something like that. Just get your eyes off the computer for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and it's finest if you still think about it, but just try to get your eyes off the computer, and that might help you. The next one I have is not using teamwork or over relying on it. So, for the longest time, I did all of these CTFs solo, and a lot of the time I still do, mostly to record content on YouTube. But, it's always good to have team members that have the skills that you don't have. For example, I am not very good at pwn challenges. So having somebody on my team that is good with pwn challenges is a good thing. That means I don't have to work on those challenges. I can work at what I'm good at. Or maybe I can try the easy ones and they can go towards the medium on hard ones where I have no idea what I'm doing. So just, try to get yourself in a part of a team. There's a lot of learning and expertise that you can do there. You can ask them how they were able to solve the challenge. And just having that teamwork is really important. Um, oh, the other side of it is over relying on your team. And by that, I mean just assuming your team is going to do this challenge, or, not spending a lot of time in the CTF because you're assuming your pwn guy is going to solve all the pwn challenges. Or you got somebody doing OSINT and you assume that um, they're just going to do all the OSINT challenges. Don't over rely on them. Even though somebody might be technically good at like an OSINT challenge, maybe they're missing something small. So just make sure you're communicating with your team, going over what challenges you guys are doing, and if you're running into an issue, make sure you ask the question, because maybe you're missing something so small that you're gonna kick yourself when you read the write up and it was just a really small thing that you missed. Hey, future me jumping in here. I totally forgot to put number 7 in when I was recording this video, and that is not checking for hints or challenge updates. So for hints, don't be afraid to use hints. Some CTF challenges have hints inside the challenges on the CTF platform, so don't be afraid to use them unless you're, it might cost you the win, then, maybe don't, but don't be afraid to use them, especially if you're starting out. Also, for challenge updates, sometimes the developers of the challenges or the authors will post updates on Discord, or update the description or the files of the challenge, and especially if they made a mistake or are missing something or want to give some additional clarification. So don't forget to be checking the CTF platform and also Discord or wherever they're posting updates to see if they have made any recent updates and if there's any chatter on Discord about the challenge itself. The next one I have is overlooking basic enumeration. So jumping into an exploit without first enumerating, directories or files, checking robots, checking sitemap, checking for SQL injection, at least a basic SQL injection, not looking too much into the challenge before going into complicated exploits. So that's just make sure you're performing that enumeration to gather all the available intel that you can get on the challenge before just diving into exploits. The next one I have is overlooking simple exploits. So for this one, just just make sure you're not diving into the most complicated exploit that you can do. Not just, taking the challenge and copying and pasting it into ChatGPT and seeing, what it can give you for the solution. Always try simple exploits first. Try to figure out what your exploit is, and if it's not working, use Google, look at other challenges that might be similar, see what attack vectors they're using. And, maybe if it's something you haven't done before, ask your teammates or just look at those write-ups that you see online and, try to perfect the exploit you're trying to do, but don't try to overcomplicate it, because in a lot of the CTFs, unless it's a hard challenge with low number of solves, it's probably not as complicated as you think. And my last one, which is my favorite one and something I think everybody should be doing, and the mistake that I see is not learning from past challenges, failing to review solutions, leading to missing the patterns that can be useful in future challenges. Every challenge author is different. Every challenge author does something a different way, but you're probably, 9 times out of 10 going to see something repeated as you go through these CTFs. So make sure when you're done with the CTF, you review other people's write-ups, but most importantly, make your own write-ups. Write up how you solved a challenge, post it on GitHub, post it on YouTube, go to GitBooks. That's a free resource where you can upload those notes online. Set up a WordPress website, set up a YouTube channel, go to Medium and post it, or just post it into the Discord. Write up your challenges. Even if you don't think you're good at writing up or you think it's bad, everyone has to start somewhere. So write up your challenges and post them, and you can get feedback from the people doing the CTF. And a lot, even though you might think, hey, this was a simple exploit for me, somebody who's just starting out on CTFs and doesn't know what burp sweep is, or doesn't know to go check robots, or doesn't know to do a basic SQL injection, those notes can really help the community, and it will help you learn how to do write-ups. And every write-up that you do, you'll get better and better and better. I started up with write-ups on GitHub, and then I went to GitBook, and then I got my own domain and started with a WordPress site. Now I have a YouTube channel, and I'm just getting more and more confident with my write-ups. I'm still not 100% confident with them, but it's getting there. So just make sure you're doing your own write-ups, learning off of other people's write-ups, and don't be afraid to make a write-up after the competition is done for something that you didn't solve. Read somebody else's write-up, solve it, and then make your own write-up on it. Of course, give them credit, but, make your own write-up and just understand the challenges instead of just saying, oh, that sucks, I couldn't solve that challenge, I'm just gonna go do a next CTF. You're not learning anything that way. The challenges that you solve, half of them are going to be stuff you already know, but you want to be learning off the stuff that you don't know. So just make sure you analyze and document your solutions, and that should help you be a stronger CTF player in the future. So those are my top 10 common mistakes that I find myself doing and that I find a lot of other people doing, and how to avoid them. So I hope all of that made sense. I tried to do this all in one take, so sorry if I messed up in a couple places, but these are just kind of some of the common pitfalls that I see, and reflecting on my own examples here. Like I said, these aren't easy to inherit immediately, but I'll post them in the description below. Write them down somewhere and just make sure you're looking at these, make sure you're taking your breaks, and make sure you're doing your write-ups. If this helped you, give me a thumbs up, a comment down below if you want to see more videos like these, and subscribe if you like the content. Thank you so much, and you guys have a good weekend. Bye.